Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Authenticity Journey. I am Clara Venine, and co hosting with me is Marlon Bermudez.
Hello and welcome.
Today, we are joined by John Riley, Chief of Emerging Tech at Impactify, where he helps international companies expand in South Florida by connecting them with the right partners, resources, and growth opportunities to land and scale successfully. John, welcome to the Authenticity Journey.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
It's a pleasure to have you. John, I know we met at the event,
hmm
and you had this vibrant, great personality, and you spoke so well when it comes to the human experience. So I would love to hear your story. As you know, the Authenticity Journey is a human capital forum, and
Yeah.
it's all about the human experience. So I would love for you to share more about yourself, who you are beyond, of course, share a little bit more of what you do
Yes.
and who are you beyond your success, beyond everything that you're leading and that you're moving with as in this life.
No, no problem. I'll give a brief background on myself. So, I originally grew up in New York, but early at a young age, I traveled a lot. So, I moved around from California to Idaho to New York, lived in Japan for a number of years. And then, really, when I graduated high school, I joined the Marines. So, right after high school, I joined the Marines. And then I left the Marines and then I thought I was going to be a cop, right? It was a natural route. But
Yes.
at the time, New York had a holding list on hiring. So I had to wait. I worked construction for a number of years.
Oh,
And
wow.
then the girl I was engaged to at the time was working at a bank. And she's like, "You should apply at the bank." And I'm like, "I don't have a finance degree." She's like, "Don't worry about it. You're just going to be on the phones transferring high credit card interest rates from one to another."
Right.
So I take the interview, and the lady in the interview gets to my bottom of my resume. She goes, "Oh, you're in the Marines." I was like, "Yes, ma'am." She's like, "You know the six vice presidents here that are Marines." And at that point, I kind of just smiled and I was like, "Okay." And by the time I got home, they called me. They're like, "You're hired." So I went into
Oh,
banking for a
wow.
number of years. This is in Wilmington, Delaware, and started performing better than people that had finance degrees. Got promoted, but after a while, banking got very stiff to me. It was almost like the military, very structured,
Wow.
very kind of like conservative. And I was like, I want to get into sales. So left banking, moved to Connecticut, New York, Connecticut, and got a telemarketing job, just dialing for dollars, calling, making appointments. At the time, I had a recruiter who's like, "Hey, do you want to work for Oracle?"
Right.
And I was like, "Who's Oracle?" I had no clue who Oracle software company was. So it's like a big software company. I was like, "All right." So I do the interview. I get hired in their inside sales job. And at that point is when things click. Like, I like this space. I was like, I like technology. I didn't realize it, was never really into it. But the more I started learning about it and getting involved with what Oracle's doing, I was like, okay. And then got into consulting services and consulting with education, user adoption of technology. And that's when I started going, all right, this is where I want to make my career. Didn't know how I was going to go about that. But as I got more advanced and more up in my career in sales, 2017, I was like, I'm bored, right? And I got into emerging technology, which was blockchain at the time. So when blockchain came around, I was all excited. I was like, this is great. What is this stuff? Learned about it, crypto side, but really the enterprise side was what interests me of this immutable ledger and started building this ecosystem up in West Palm at the time.
Oh,
So I ran
wow.
like a blockchain meetup group in downtown West Palm. Met a lot of
And
different
I write it
people.
down, West Palm
Yeah,
Beach at that time.
right
Okay.
downtown, and it was just so new, and people were trying to learn what it was and get educated on it, and that's what we were doing. And I found like I like this. I like helping people get involved, learn something new, right? Not from a technical aspect, but of how's it
Absolutely.
affecting my business.
Right.
And during that journey, met a lot of different people. I think I was talking about earlier. Is like I always started reaching out to people internationally, going, "What are you doing?" At the time, I was like, "What are you doing with blockchain?" And all of a sudden, different relationships started. Like, "Hey, we're doing this, we're doing that," and it just expanded my perspective of, okay, I need to think broader when I do technology. I need to think more realistic, authentic relationships when I'm doing this. And because of that, since this time, a lot of people still reach out to me because of that.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's just grown. And everything I do in technology, I'm always reaching out internationally because then it allows me, one, to build relationships,
Of
but then
course.
two, learn so much more than what I'm thinking of, right? I think at times even here in the US, we get stuck in a silo, right? Of, oh, we're just thinking about what we're doing here. But when I hear different stories and I go, I need to share that. Like that person, they're doing this for that, and they're doing this over this for that. And that allowed me to people going, wow, you know a lot about this. Like,
Right.
I don't think I know a ton. I just reached out and I was hearing great stories that I wanted to share.
Yes.
And realizing the importance of relationships during that process of this transcends into everything, right? It transcends into how people reach out to you, how they connect with you. When you're having conversations like when I met both of you at the event, it's people understand when you're being authentic of, hey, what are you doing, right? And it's not all about, oh, what do you
Yes.
do? What can you do for me? What can we do together? Someone's like, no, what else do you do, right? Outside of that, what's important? And then those conversations turn into tangible relationships. And people know when you reach out, it's like, hey, it's not just one-sided. It's more on the lines of you actually are interested in what I'm doing. And vice versa, then you kind of get this energy transfer back and forth.
Back and forth.
And it's just real and realistic. And you're like, all right, I kind of like that conversation. And you're like, yeah, I want to talk to that person again.
I find
yeah.
that amazing. And it seems like you've found a way of keeping the human aspect centered.
Yeah.
While, technology accelerates, it's moving,
Yep.
So fast. So it sounds that you've found balance in between.
Yep.
Is that how
I definitely look at it that way because I incorporate my authentic self in the way I go about interacting with people, especially
Yes.
technology, right? And I always try to go, if I'm in their shoes, because I live in this space every day, I want to make them feel comfortable that, okay, how do I make you curious about what I'm talking about? Not to just show up and say, hey, I know this, and this. And they look at you like, that's great. You kind of lost me. I want them to go, well, tell me more about that. And it's like, okay, well, what are you interested in? Like, what do you like? What do you know about it? And not trying to meet them where they're at and then going, let me give you a few nuggets to help you grow with it, where you want to go and research it on your own.
Right.
You want to ask questions. You want to go learn it on your own, take a course or whatever. And it makes it easier for people to go, okay, I feel comfortable. I'm not technical, but you made it interesting enough that I want to go learn more about it. So even when I'm giving presentations and I'm giving out facts and stuff like that,
Right.
I go, don't believe me. Go look it up. So I'm telling you that JP Morgan's been in quantum since 2017. Don't believe me. Go look it up.
Right.
And it allows them to go, okay. Because so many times I think we take for granted when people are presenting of, oh, they give this fact. Well, I heard so-and-so say that. I go, did you validate that? Right? And I go, did you look it up and say, hey, yeah, he said this, but that's not what actually happened.
Right.
So we're taking that and there's this misconception, right, when we're learning and we want to rush into learning. We want to be fast. We want to be like, oh, I'm in that circle. I'm in this circle of technology and I know this, and this. So for me, always remembering that feeling of uncomfortableness. Because I remember how when I got in software, I was like, I don't know what I'm talking about. And everybody's up there presenting, they're talking about it, and you're uncomfortable. Like, anybody have any questions? You're like, you just sit there because you don't want to be like, I don't know what they're talking about. So how do you get people past that fear, especially with emerging tech? And we know how fast it's moving. And people are afraid of AI. And trust me, I'm afraid of AI as well. But going, okay, it's easy for me to get into this. I didn't think it was going to be that easy. Right. So when you're using ChatGPT, I'm like, just talk to it like you're having a conversation.
It can be pretty scary, right?
Yeah.
Because technology innovation is just moving so fast. And how do you keep up with everything?
It is. And the part is now and I've had a lot of conversations with people and even, Rob Petrosino, who's here, it's this human connection that you have to tie into it. This human kind of like compassion or being empathetic towards it of, hey, this is still human. I don't know how it's going to affect them, their jobs, where they are, make this anxiety feeling, of, I don't want to do this. I'm scared of it, right? How do you get them past that? And it's connecting with them as human beings of, okay, I know that feeling. I've been there. I know what that feels like, and it's not fun. And you feel like you're being left out, and you don't want to admit it, right? Because we never want to admit what we don't know.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you're able to see things the way you do because, as you mentioned, and it's part of your path.
Yeah.
Once you started, you knew nothing about technology, right? It was an opportunity that presented to you, and you embraced it, and you took a chance, and you fell in love with it.
Yeah,
you became passionate about it, and I think that's why you're able to understand how intimidating it can be for others when they have no knowledge on technology at all.
Absolutely. And even today, I get intimidated, but I go, once I'm intimidated, I go,
right.
I just need to ask a question or ask somebody who knows more than me about it. And I'll tell them like, hey, when I started getting into quantum like 2 years ago, I was like, I'm an enthusiast. I'm like, and that's what I was like. I'm trying to learn about what's going on, right? And just being totally vulnerable of this is not my realm. This is something I'm just trying to get my hands wrapped around of who's doing what, where's it going, how fast is it moving, and always staying connected to that, right?
Right.
Personally, staying connected to that feeling of I'm not going to know everything. I'm not going to be able to pick it up as fast as everybody else, and letting people know
Right.
I don't know enough about that. Can you tell me more? I was like, and when people go, oh, you hear about this, you hear about that, I go, no, tell me. And you see them catch off guard, like, oh, because everyone wants to prove, like, yeah, I know about that. I know about that. But 9 times out of 10, they don't. And you're like, no, let's have a real conversation. Like, hey, admit it. I don't know it.
Yes.
So can you tell me? Can you help me out?
We
That's
have-
the most powerful place to be. I have a lot of certifications and
Yeah.
degrees and careers over the years, but one thing that I always resonated with is that the more I learn, the less I know.
Yes.
The more I learn, the more I realize that I don't know anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a good place to be. Over the past few years, even like now, even though I'm in AI every day as part of what I do, and just different capacities,
Yeah.
I find myself, well, what about all these other models?
Yeah.
So that sense that you mentioned of, like I don't know everything and sometimes feeling like I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Things are moving really, really quickly. And the only nice thing is that to some degree, you could ask AI in some capacities
Mhm.
to help you do the thing that it's supposed to help you with.
Yeah.
You could say, help me write this master prompt
Right.
to do
Yeah.
X, Y,
Absolutely.
Z.
Yeah.
But not everyone knows that.
No.
I was actually just helping someone earlier today just do exactly that.
Yep.
So that's an empowering thing, but it reminds me of the Wolf of Wall Street, Sell Me This Pen.
Yeah.
So actually, we were having a conversation earlier, and I told Clara, well, AI is like this pen.
Yep.
You could do nothing with that. You could write on a piece of paper. You could do a few drawings, or you could sign a $1 million check and put it in your bank account.
Yep.
So you could do anything you want with AI, and it's just a matter of learning how to really use it.
I think you make a good point with that, right? It's that we're in this world and you're saying, I have certifications, I've done this, take training classes, and people go, oh, you're an expert. I said, I'm only an expert in what I know right now today.
Sure.
I said, that's it. I said, when people start saying, oh, I'm an expert, I'm like, that's great. That means you know everything about that topic.
But that's a limitation because everything is evolving pretty fast,
Exactly.
right? It's fast to the extreme.
Yeah.
And if you think you know everything, if you're so attached about a degree, a certification that you've had in the past,
Yep.
then you're actually very small. You're thinking very small.
Yes.
You're limiting yourself. You're limiting your capacity. And you're limiting the capacity of others because every time you mention, oh, I have this, but I have this, so I'm ahead of you. That's not true,
No.
right? The world continues to move. And if we believe that we know everything, then I'm sorry to say, there's just a limited human being
Yep.
that doesn't have the ability of growth, of building anything as they move forward, because everything moves forward, everything shifts, everything changes. And if you're not willing to move with that, then great, stay attached to certifications and degrees. And
Yeah.
that's the end of your career, I would say.
No, it's
So
and you bring up a good point about that because I think the old days was, hey, I have this, I'm certified in this, I'm certified in this, I'm this.
yes,
That's great. I make sure I take some certification or course, at least 2 or 3 years in something. I never
Absolutely.
talk about what they are. I just take them. I'll post them on LinkedIn. I don't even promote that I've gotten
Right.
them. It's just for me. It's for personally from my personal growth of going, hey, I need to make sure that I am doing these
Right.
things, right? And I remember I think of the other day somebody came up with that, that saying where it goes, jack of all trades, master of none. And then he goes, but do you know the full saying? It goes, jack of all trades, master of none, but better than the master of one. And I said, that's the world we live in now. Because there's no longer, I am just this expert in this. It's like, no, that's great. But do you know about how all these other things are converging together? That's different. You don't have to be an expert in all of them. But if you know about this, this, and this, and how it's all working together, now you don't have to worry about being the master of one. You can be the master of none, going, I have a touch on all these things. So if I'm in a conversation and you bring up a topic going, yeah, I know about that. I don't know everything, but tell me more. Maybe I can learn some more from you, right? And then it allows you to bounce in different verticals and sections and conversations that you're having with people and you're authentically in the conversation going, I know about that. And you're not just saying, oh, I just know about this, so I can't talk about that topic. I never want to catch myself in that situation. I want to be like, I know a little bit about that. And if something's totally brand new, I'll go, please tell me, because now I need to know a little bit about that. I don't have to go down, I don't have to go down the rabbit hole. I just have to know enough going, all right, I can have a conversation. And whoever else I have a conversation with, I can learn from them now. Right. And it makes it easier. I was invited by the Great Fort Lauderdale Alliance to work with some University of Florida graduates, kids that are computer science degrees, and they're seniors. And about 30 of them are they're asking questions like, hey, what do I need after college? And I said, honestly, you need to add certifications to your degree now. I said, because no longer is that degree in the past going to get you hired, right? Because we know curriculum in schools don't keep up with the pace of what's going on now. So they're like, really? I'm like, yes. I'm like, start thinking about this and this. I said, you're going to be way ahead of the game. I said, that allows you to stand out, saying, I know them more than just what my degree is. And they were like, okay. I said, you guys, the old stereotype was go to school and you'll get a job right away.
Yes.
Now a lot of kids aren't going to school. They're going to get certifications in cybersecurity and AI and getting apprenticeships and doing the OJT rate for on-the-job training.
It's just that better than school and having a degree is experience.
Yes.
So it's actually, working with it, putting your hands and getting into action. That's how you actually become a real good professional. There's nothing wrong with school. I think it brings you into the path. But I think most, the younger generation, they graduate and they think they have everything they need. But there's no experience. They haven't really done the job. They haven't really faced the challenges that comes with whatever career they're trying to achieve. So I think the experience is everything.
Yes.
So that's why today, in today's world, a piece of paper, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. I tell them, I said, your resume doesn't give your whole story. I said, when you
doesn't.
put their resume in front of a job interview, you need to have something more there, the intangibles, that they go, oh, you're more than just what's listed on here.
Yes.
Show me that you're expanding outside of your comfort zone, saying, hey, my degree is in computer science, but I've gotten certifications in cybersecurity. I've gotten here just so I have a broader, and go, oh, okay. You're already thinking of, I need to be able to be cross-functional everywhere I go. I said, know the technical side and know the business side now.
Right.
I said, you need to be able to talk with both units and show that you're comfortable in both areas. Before it was like, okay, I'm just going to be on the tech side and that's it. That's not happening anymore. You need to be able to converge both of those and understand you're going to need skills in both these areas. And sooner or later, it's like that job you'll leave and go somewhere else, and you might not be working in your degree. You have no idea how that works. It's like, I know people got engineer's degrees and they're totally not in the engineer field. Right? Because something came along and they worked somewhere. I'm like, you know what? And now I have more passion for this. I have more passion to be over here. But now I have that as a foundation, right? I have an engineering degree as a foundation, but you know what? Now I'm over here and I'm learning. I got hands-on. I got experienced people around me. Now it's limitless at this point.
So let's talk about passion. That has been in the back of my mind for the past few minutes before you even said that. Because technology, it moves very, very fast.
Absolutely.
It's a lifelong learning career.
Yes.
Where if you just take a vacation for a month, let's call it a day, but a month, you're already behind.
Yep.
So I like to mentor whether it's students or anyone in the industry that is pursuing a career in IT or cybersecurity, but I'm really passionate about business and leadership too.
Yeah.
So it mixes really well with what we do on our side. But the one component that I've always seen, either you have it or you don't, or is yet to be discovered, is passion.
Yes.
If you have passion, or if you discover you have a passion for one of those items, then it makes it super easy to learn something. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
I don't have a passion for music, like playing an instrument, so it's very complicated for me. But I have a passion to learn technical items and a passion for attention to detail, business operations, leadership. So all of that to me just flows like water. Yep. But if you ask me, go learn how to dance, well, we're still working on that.
Well, just trying. It's good.
You have to find you have to find yourself. You have to find what really makes you fulfilled, excited, what makes you move, what makes you what gives you that passion,
drive,
that
yeah.
fire within,
Yeah.
that drive that actually allows you to build something,
Yep.
to create something. So I think, anyone is capable of learning anything or any career or
Yeah.
getting any degree. But passion is unique. Passion is something that if you do have it, most likely you will succeed.
Yeah.
Because you're thirsty for for change. You're thirsty to learn. You have it in you. Nothing is going to stop you because you're actually enjoying the
What you
process and what you're doing.
Yeah.
So
I think you know that, and I love how you brought up passion, because I've always said to people, I was like, you can't fake passion, right? And people
Yeah.
in sales like that, and I've been in sales and consulting service. I said, when people give you a sales pitch, whatever, and they're trying to be like all passionate like that, I know if somebody's really passionate about it or not, because you can't get them to shut up. When people are really passionate about
Right.
something, they will not stop. Like, wait, and they're just going and going because it's exciting. And people like that, when I got into blockchain, right, I'd see people like, oh, let me tell you about it. And they're like,
yes.
okay, I don't know. And I would just keep going. And they're like, okay, you lost me. And I was like, no, but you know about this. And I realized, like, yeah, I'm actually passionate about this. This is different, right? It's a different feeling.
Yeah.
And that's how I started feeling about emerging tech. Was I love that it's moving so fast that you can't be complacent. You can't go, oh, I got my degree and I have this job like this. And you're like, no, that's great. But what else are you doing? What else? Like, what else are you following up on? What else are you shooting for? Because that journey leads to something else and another else.
And as you both mentioned, passion, which is it's everything, right? Coming back to me, it's funny because I've never been passionate about technology, right? I'm passionate about leadership and the human being and all the aspects of being a human. So I was, a person who was afraid of technology and intimidated.
Yeah.
I don't mean using a cell phone or sending an email, but, diving deeper than that, it has never been my passion. And I would keep saying, I don't want to learn this. It's just not my passion.
Yeah.
I would go into the cybersecurity books or even just learning different things in technology.
Yep.
And I'm married to someone in technology and cybersecurity. So to me, it was hard because I kept pushing myself. I have to do this. I have to get a cybersecurity certification. And for real, I did try. I kept learning and everything. I had to, remove the blockage and the fear I had for cybersecurity and everything else. I'm not going to say that I kept moving forward with it because I realized I'm not passionate enough to do that.
Yeah.
However, I think the idea is even though you're not passionate, it does not mean that you're not able to learn. Because if you give yourself a chance, you do learn something. And that something that you learn may not be what you're doing for life, but that something enhances what you already do.
Yep.
So what's happening to me is I'm not passionate about technology, but I am willing to learn. And I'm enjoying the process because the more I learn, the more I'm able to achieve in what I'm already doing with leadership. So it's important to break the fear, remove the blockage that we have. We create that blockage.
Absolutely.
I'm unable to learn because I'm not passionate. It's not my thing. It's not my thing, but I'm benefiting from it. I don't have to have that as a career, but like you mentioned earlier, it's important to learn different things even when you're not passionate because it enhances who you are, what you do. It improves your conversations. It opens up more space, more possibilities of growth in so many levels. And it just adds up. It's not your passion, but it adds up because you allowed yourself to learn something new.
No, I love that. And I know what you're talking about because I'm not super technical. I've even tried to take classes of code and stuff like that, right?
Right.
And just halfway through it, I'm like, this is not me, right? I'm like, I'm not putting this together. But then when I switched from that, I went to start taking more classes on executive business in those fields. That's when it switched for me. I'm like, all right, because the executive business side was what I loved of that relationship, the leadership, the consulting aspect of it, right? Where I didn't have to give a demo or do code. where's the business case? Where's the problem solving that this tech fits in? Now I understand it. So now I can have that conversation and be with a technical person in the room and knowing, ask them about this, ask them about the
Right.
problems they're having here. Then it was different. I felt more comfortable when I started doing that, going, okay, I can start doing this in all. I'll take just all the executive leadership
Leadership
courses
trainings.
in these areas. And then even in there, they talk about the technical the terms and stuff like that, where to ask, what this is, and I was like, all right. And even when I got into cybersecurity, I was doing the director of the cybersecurity range of the Levant Center of Innovation. And really, when I got into that, I was like, all right, I got more into it, and then more on the aspect of this is how the executives need to be looking at cybersecurity and the common person, because when they come in the room to learn, they're like, I'm not a cybersecurity expert. I want to learn about it. I was like, well, let's talk about the problems where it fits in your daily job.
Right.
Here's why cybersecurity is important. Here's what I do red team, blue team exercises. Here's what I do pen testing. Then I started going, okay, I get it now, right? I didn't have to be the one doing it. I just
Right.
found out here's where I need to ask these questions and feel comfortable, and then connect with the people that are already scared of it, going, why am I taking this class? I'm not in cybersecurity. Like, but you need to know that you're responsible, right? And we know it always it's always the human. It's the end of the problem
Right.
of how these breaches happen, right? So if they're not getting comfortable, just a high level education of here's why cybersecurity people are like, don't open this. We're doing the pen tests. Don't open that, right? Then I'm like, okay, I get it now. Now I know why cybersecurity guys are so much on us, because it is with us. It is with the human person of how you connect with it. And then I always say it circles back to the human being of get them comfortable of understanding of, okay, I'm not good with tech. I'm nervous about it. How do I get them easy? Well, let's make it easy for you. Let's talk about it in your daily job without the technical aspect of it. So learning it that way for me was easy to have more conversations around it, and then kind of share that experience of, hey, this wasn't my field, right?
But like you mentioned, everything connects, right? Your true passion is technology, and
Yeah.
that's what you do for a living. However, you allowed yourself to take all the executives leadership trainings,
Yeah,
even though it was not really
technical.
your thing, but you did it, and because you did, it expanded your vision, it expanded your horizon to the point that now you're able to, not that you were not able to, but it increased your knowledge, and
Yeah.
you're able to coach or train another human in technology because you understand both sides. You can talk to them in a different way. You have a different vision, a different perception. So it's always important to blend in everything. It
Absolutely.
enhances the professional you are. So you are the professional you are today because you allowed yourself to learn as much as you can, and you continue to do that, of
Yeah.
course.
It's anything new is uncomfortable, right? If you're not uncomfortable, that means you're not challenging yourself.
Yes.
Like if it's easy and like, okay, and I would say, so in the Marines we had a saying we always go, complacency kills, right? We can be like, okay, we were successful in this battle, in this war, like
Right.
that. Okay, but now it's different. Just because you won that, what else do we need to do differently?
Right.
What else do I need to go learn? What do I need to train on to get my skills better in here and here? What could I have done better in this last opportunity that I should have been more sharper here? Let me go sharpen those skills there. And it's the same thing, I think, in emerging technology is complacency kills, because those old mentalities of, early 2000s, late 90s of, hey, I'm this Microsoft expert, and da-da-da. Like, well, that's great. And people are getting hired. I got my Six Sigma. That's great. Now it's totally different. Now it's like, well, what else are you doing? What else do you know? Right?
Sure.
And getting that mindset shift, and I think we're seeing it in the last 5 or 6 years, this shift of I can no longer just be complacent that I have this certification at this time that I'm going to get hired. And I can't even be complacent with my experience anymore, right? I mean, a lot of people, the job market is flooded with highly experienced people right now, and they can't get hired because they're leaning on, well, I've done this for years. Well, that's great. Well, he knows what I'm talking about.
Yes.
I've done this for years. That's great. But are you up to date on this and this is what we're doing here? Then you can't help us, right? Maybe your experience can work in a work environment, but your skill set and what you're doing, it's not going to be able to just transfer over instantly because you did all these things before, right? So how do you?
I always pay attention to those red flags. If I'm hiring someone or just socializing, if someone is really trying to sell themselves way too much
Oh,
and all the degrees and everything
Oh,
they've
yeah.
done,
yep.
I immediately I lose interest.
So do I.
I think it's great. It's beautiful. But I actually appreciate more those that are, of course, you can still share what
Yeah.
you've done, but I actually appreciate more those that are open to into learning that, oh, I don't know everything. I mean, I could learn that. I
Yeah.
could do that, or be more honest too. Because overly exaggerating or overly selling ourselves, it's a limiting action. It's a limiting action. It doesn't really take you further. It doesn't change you. You're really not selling yourself. You're
You,
actually,
it's
taking away your value, because the most beautiful value you can find in a human is knowing that they are open, that they do not know everything,
yeah.
and they are just open into learning and to discovering whatever it is there to discover. I
Yeah.
think that's something to observe
Always.
on people,
Always.
because that's huge. I don't quite know how to explain right now, but you feel it.
Oh, I know
There's
exactly
so
what you're
many
talking
people
about.
out there selling themselves. Like when you join networking events at the chamber, or or even LinkedIn, or hey, I've done this, I've done that, I'm great. It's just great,
Yeah.
but
That's right.
you're not impressing me.
Yeah. You're not
You
when
know?
when you're leading with how great I am, right? Right away, I'm already turned off. I'm like, that's nice. You want to just start with you're this. I've done this. I've been here. I've been to Harvard. Well, that's great,
Right.
right? What are you about? What are you really about? Like what do you authentically want to share with me that I want to connect with you? Going, yeah. And case in point, when you're hiring someone, will this person fit in our culture? Right? Will they fit with the culture of our organization?
Yes,
Right? That's it's huge. It's more important now than ever of that culture fit. Right? Some people like I'll hire somebody maybe with less experience, but they're a perfect fit for the culture. They have the same mindset of what we like to do. If they're
right.
open to learning, they're willing to jump in when we need it. Hey, that's not my job. Not a problem. I'll jump in. What do you need help at? That's different. Right? When people come in and like, well, I've done this before. Why should I be doing that? I mean, and they're
If
like,
they're not matching the culture,
yeah,
then it's very hard to bring growth into the organization and bringing growth into their lives.
and
There's just no match.
no,
It's just not going to align in the long run. So that's very important to identify. That's a great question. Like, do they fit the culture?
yeah,
Because if you know they do, then even if they're not fully prepared,
you can work with them.
you can work with them,
Yes, yeah,
right? They can be fully prepared, but if there's no matching, if they don't fit, if they don't align
yeah,
with the core values of the organization, then
that's
And
different.
I had a question for you.
Yeah.
You mentioned you've taken a lot of courses, and you continue doing, your continuous education to make
Yeah.
sure you keep growing. Who is forcing you to do this?
yeah, you have to tell us who's forcing you.
No one's forced me. It's really me going consistently in my head. Don't be complacent. Yeah,
Yep.
you know a lot, but you know what? Every year it's something different. And if I'm not the one pushing myself in that area, not like, oh my God, I need to catch up with that person. I'm not trying to compare myself to how far along somebody is in their career and their knowledge. It's me going, I need to prepare myself as much as possible for this next wave, right? Because emerging tech's moving fast. And I don't know what's coming next. And for me, it was quantum. And I'm like, wow, this is great because it's right along with AI. But going, okay, what's next? Who should I be talking to or listening to that's going to make me go, now I'm curious, right?
Right.
What do I need to go look up? What high level overview course can I take that allows me just the knowledge going, all right, now I want to go in the rabbit hole. Where else do I
Right.
want to go with this? And it's having that feeling of not feeling less than, but it's more in the feelings of I want to be prepared as possible where I can feel comfortable if I have to, and then uncomfortable when I need to, when I don't know enough about it. But not going, oh, I know enough about this. And let's stay on the topic that I know the most about,
Yes.
Yep.
right? I want to talk about topics that I don't know about because that's where I start growing. I'm like, wow, I wasn't even thinking of that. Like, tell me more about that. Like, what do I need to know about that? Where'd you learn that? Then it's different. And I go, all right, I got to write that down. It's something else I need to go learn now, right? And it's, you just brought up before, continual learning.
Yep.
Like it doesn't stop in emerging tech. And even with my kids, I'm like, this is not the rest of your life. You're doing this, right?
So, what would be your advice for the next generation and there's multiple generations at this
Absolutely,
point.
yeah.
But for the let's call it next generations that are out there, that they feel that they're being forced to learn something. They feel that they're being forced by their parents to go to college. They feel that their teachers are forcing them to get certifications,
Yeah.
or or just even at their job, that they feel that they're being forced to do continuous education. What would be your advice to them that they're in the tech field specifically?
I, that's a good question. I would say be comfortable being uncomfortable for the next 15, 20 years of your life. Because if if they're hesitant now, understand the more hesitant they are of wanting to be proactive with it, the harder it's going to be for them. And yes, kids are like, well, I have to do that. I'm like, you don't have to. You have a choice.
Right.
You have a choice. You can or you don't. It's up to you. But understand as it goes on in your life and in your career, you're going to realize it's going to impact you that you aren't being proactive, going, let me upskill myself on this without being told. Let me be proactive in doing something that I'm not being told about. Then that empowers them.
Mhm.
When they're being proactive on their own, then they feel empowered, right? They're like, oh, like growing up as kids, parents do like, what, I got to do this. I didn't want to do this, right? But when then they start realizing on their own, the own epiphany of, I actually do need to learn more about this, right? Something's going to happen. It's either they're going to get fired from the job or something else, so they're going to be totally unhappy. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's on you. Like, take it full accountability when it comes to it of, this is on me now. It's not my parents.
Yes.
It's not my boss. It's not my
Yep.
teachers. This is full accountability that I need to take ownership of. And once I do that, then it's like, all right, I get it now, right? Your friends, whatever. Why are you taking that? Because I want
Right.
to take it. Because I want to do something more. I want to grow more. I want to be bigger than where I'm at here. Or I want to advance in life or in my career to a different level. And the only way to do that is continual learning, right? And like I said, that degree is no longer saving them anymore.
No.
The degree it's almost hindering them at times of safety that's no longer there. And some kids are realizing it, like the kids I met from UF, of what else do I need to do? What else? And they were asking me all these different questions. I'm like, that's a great question. I'm like, that's it. That's it. That's the mindset you need to
A
have.
degree doesn't really get anyone hired anymore, but knowledge does. So I would say even for the younger generation, if I know a lot of them, maybe they are not coming from families that
Yep.
can support their college degrees, that they can support their growth,
Yeah.
and they're concerned or they're anxious about the future. It's very important to remember that now with AI and all the technology, that you can teach yourself. You can learn from it. And that can get you a good career. It's not
Yep.
just about that piece of paper. I'm not saying don't go to college, but I'm saying do not fear the future if you can't afford
Yeah.
going to college right now, because it's not where the future is. I mean, you can learn, you can apply, you can learn from people like you. They're there to
Yeah, you as well,
mentor,
yeah.
they're there to give guidance. And if you have the experience and the knowledge, do not be attached to the degree.
Yeah, I agree.
If you can, great, get the degree. But if you can't, do not be
It's
attached
not
to
gonna
it. You
hold-
can still
no.
be an amazing professional. And I remember that in the beginning of this conversation, you mentioned how, many years ago in New York, you were, trying to figure out your future
Yes.
and going from different jobs
Yeah.
and figuring things out. That must have been really challenging and
It's scary, right?
it's scary.
Yeah.
The question I have for you, and I think it's very important, especially for who's watching and as we like to bring wisdom to the next generation, what gave you, I would say you had a little faith in yourself, right?
Yeah.
When you took the chance in technology, you had that faith within you, you believed in yourself.
Yeah.
Is there any lesson from your upbringing that made you have that faith in yourself, or it just came into yourself naturally? It was just there. That's very important because
Yeah.
a lot of younger people, they do not believe in themselves.
That's very true.
In this world of that's very competitive. There's the social media world and LinkedIn, everyone portraying success that it a lot of times it's not even realistic. We all know, right? We can
Yeah.
just show up beautifully, but real life is different. There are challenges, and I always mention my challenges because I want people to know that it's not a beautiful photo
Yeah.
or a video that gives your entire life. That's not real life,
No,
right? It's part of your life,
it
but it's
is.
not your life 24 hours a day. So the question is, during that time, while you're still trying to figure out life, as you know,
Yeah.
as a young person, what gave you that faith? What gave you that motivation? I believe in myself. I'm doing this. I can do it. I'm going to take a chance. Was that Did that come from family? Did that come
It's. I mean, I played a lot of sports growing up, and I was really good at sports, and I knew that. Um, the Marines definitely helped out a lot because they instilled in you understand and embrace the word fortitude, this
okay?
mental toughness that no matter what, you can finish the mission, right? And
Okay.
that was instilled from sports of going hard, training when nobody else is training,
Right.
all this stuff like that. And I was successful in soccer. I was successful in wrestling. I was successful in lacrosse,
Oh,
captain of all the teams, all these things, all league, all county, whatever. But I remember like pushing myself, like, yeah, I have this natural talent, but I need to be better. I need to try it harder. Marines just enhanced that for me of this mental toughness, which is the hardest thing for a lot of kids these days, is this mental toughness of not to take everything personal, right? Not to break the personal things of
mm-hmm.
social media where people are saying, oh, that's all you're at in your career. That's how far you are. Well, guess what? I already got a house in this and I'm your same age, right? That's like, it just crushes the spirit. But realizing, having this mental toughness of, I know I can do better. And now with technology, right, with AI, they have access to insight that none of us had at their age,
Yes.
at their fingertips of,
Everything.
I don't know this topic. Let me go ask Copilot. Let me go ask ChatGPT. Give me a breakdown of this topic
Yes.
here that I can learn about on an interview to prepare myself,
Everything.
or this topic here. That was never there. It wasn't that easy. So they have easy access to knowledge that we didn't have at their fingertips. So now they can go, okay, if I am switching jobs and I don't know a ton about this place, let me do my research on it. What are the questions I should be asking? What's the insight I should know? Now they have it where they can switch a job and go to a field that they're not comfortable in, but be like, hey, I know enough about it where, wow, I feel comfortable that I'm knowledgeable.
So you would say that that tough training pushed you to your limits, beyond your limits from the Marine,
Yep.
is what enhanced your
It's
life and gave you that faith within yourself, within yourself to believe so bad that you could do it, that you did it.
that too, and I'm not going to say my parents as well, both of them, my mother and my father. My dad was a nuclear engineer, worked for power plants for
Okay.
General Electric. My mother was a social worker for 30 years in prisons.
Oh
So
wow.
she worked with some of the worst people out there. And then she'd come home like, it's like, don't tell me you can't do anything.
Hmm.
So
And
you came from a background of family that
yeah, it was just, both of
they
them were
were
just
already
like, hey,
tough.
don't tell me
Yeah.
you can't do it. Do not, I don't want to hear that. My mother, and she would say, don't tell me. I said, I meet with people, kids your age, in prison all days. Don't tell me.
And that raises a
Yeah.
light bulb in the world as you talk about that, because you know, I don't know what happened as we evolve as humans, that we've become so weak,
Yeah.
right? So I'm not saying we can't have emotions, but we used to be stronger, and millions of years
Yeah.
ago, what happened to us? That we're so weak. Everything affects us. Every comment,
Oh,
everything impacts us internally in a way that becomes destructive.
yeah.
And the more I talk to people, the more I learn that this is a new thing. This is a new generation issue. I think back then we used to be stronger
Absolutely.
humans. We
Yeah.
could take more. I'm not saying you can't show emotions, but why are we getting affected or allowing what's coming from externally, what's coming from the outside to impact us to the point where we become so destructive and unable to succeed or even find fulfillment and be happy? As we were driving here, I think Marlon had this really great question. Not sure if that's how you phrased it, about what is missing in the world. For what do you think it's missing that humans are not happy? What's missing?
I
And that's part of it.
it is, and I think somewhere along the lines we stop wanting to hold the younger generation accountable for their actions. Where you couldn't discipline them, you couldn't scold them, you couldn't punish them, right? There was no accountability, and I see it with a lot of kids, right? There's no accountability of your actions have consequences, right? And because of that, all right, so when hard times hit them, they have no idea how to push through it because they've never dealt with consequences at a young age. So now they're getting older and the consequences hit them and they don't know how to adapt to it. It's crushing. I'm like, oh my God, I've never been talked to like this. How dare you say that to me? Like, what are you talking about? Like, seriously? Like, if that's going to crush you, you have a big wake up call when you get in the real world, right? And that's the thing is the holding people accountable is huge. And even as an adult, I tell people I work with, like, hold me accountable. If I'm saying this and I don't miss it, hold me accountable for it, right? Don't be embarrassed. And I think when we look at kids and even in school, like the teachers can't hold kids accountable,
No.
right? They run all over the teachers, which is scary. I've heard kids, I've gone to schools and I heard kids talk back to teachers. I'm like, oh my God, I was in school. That never would happen. Or my mother would have been called, right? And then it definitely wouldn't happen, right? But now when the parents are agreeing with the kid over the teacher, you're like, here's the problem. You can't hold a kid accountable for his mistakes. So now you're setting them up for failure when they get in the real world and they're on social media and somebody says something or they have a boss and they're like, can you believe that he talked to me like that? You're like, yeah, he runs the company. Like, he wants you to work. Like, it's not about, oh, I'm not going to come in today. I mean, like, no, show up because you went out late last night. You still got to show up. Like, that's it. Now, like, oh, no, I'm good. And I'm like, here it is. And it's hard to push them into a different mindset that they've never been taught how to do. And we're missing that a lot.
I agree with you. If I look back, well, I'm almost in my 40s now, but if I look back in my younger age, my parents held my hands way too much to,
Yeah.
not necessarily protective, but they were always there to save me. For
And there's
a
nothing
lot
wrong
of
with
times,
that.
they were always
Yeah.
there. And that's amazing. And I appreciate,
Yeah.
But I realized that the time in my life where I really grew was in my mid 20s.
Yeah.
A bit older when they were no longer there constantly. I'm here to save you. I'm
Yeah.
here to,
Take care of your
to
problem.
take care
Yeah.
of your problems. So that's when I grew. And I remember that it's painful, right?
Yeah.
It's painful
has to
because
be.
you're just so used to
Yeah.
have a solution to all of your problems, financially or emotionally, everything.
Yeah.
And then you find yourself not having that, even though you're a bit older, and you realize, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah.
That's it's just my life is ending, and it becomes it's a horrible feeling. It's overwhelming, actually. But then that's where you grow.
Yes.
You grow when you no longer find any level of support. And I'm not saying it's important to have support,
I
but
agree.
there needs to be balance.
Mhm.
Because when you have too much support, you do not grow.
Yeah.
And then you keep, you see those parents, we give all the support, everything they need, financially, emotionally, and they're not doing anything with their
Mhm.
lives. It's too much.
Yeah.
And going back to your parents, how they were more,
Yeah. It's
tough.
and there's nothing wrong. And don't get me wrong. I mean, they supported me in different ways all the time.
Yes.
They always had my back and it was great. But when it came to accountability, they definitely
Correct.
was accountable. Like, you
I'm
screwed
not,
up.
I'm not saying not support you in
Yeah.
the sense of not, worrying about you or taking care of you or supporting you when you really need. Like, we all need a level of support.
Yeah.
But like you said, when it comes to accountability, they kept you accountable. You have
Yeah.
to be responsible for your actions.
Yep.
That's how you
That's how you
become
become stronger
stronger.
and you can deal with it. And so my daughter is 17 and great straight A's. I have a son as well. But for her, she's getting to the point I'm like, your actions have consequences. And I said, what I'm trying to do is prepare you for the real world. And so when you get out and you get punched in the mouth, I said, I can't have you in a fetal position in your dorm room, not knowing how to solve the problem. If I'm not there, your mother's not there.
Love that.
I said, you have to be able to, I need to get up and I need to figure out how I'm going to do this.
Right.
It's my fault. It's my responsibility. And I said, you might think I'm being tough at times. I said, I love you to the cows come out. It's not what I want to do for you. I said, but I will not like support you in things that I know are not going to help you down the road. Yeah, I could easily come and save you here. I can give you money. I'm like, no, you want those things, figure it out. Here it is. And she's like, all right, yeah, you just, I said, my other friend's parents are like this. I said, well, I'm not your other friend's parents. I said, I'm not your other friend's parents. I said, I'm not. I said, when they get out there, I said, they're going to have to deal with it. I said, but if you can deal with it now, I said, before you're out of here and you're in the real world, you're going to be way ahead of the game. I said, because you're going to come across kids that they're going to break down and melt down and will not know how to do anything. I said, you want to be the one going, wow, that's sad. It's sad that, I'd like to help you, but, I can handle this. And that's the biggest thing is how do we adapt these kids moving forward of getting them prepared, right? Getting prepared for the real world. And it's going to be way different from where we grew up, right? In this age of, okay, yeah, we've went through stuff. For them, it's even faster, right? They'll never know a world without AI, soon not a world without quantum, and whatever else comes after that. Like, where do I fit in the world is going to figure out. Like, where do I fit? That's hard, right? Like, you talk about passion. And if they don't have passion for something, then where are they fitting? Right? What are they figuring out? And how are they figuring out that passion? That's different. And then I get my passion over time of, hey, I was passionate about being a cop when I got out of the Marines. I was like, I'm going to be a cop. And what I do, I'm going to SWAT team. I'm going to do these things. And then when that passion changed, I was like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't choose that. I like this one better.
It shifted.
Right? It was just by chance. And I was like, all right, the universe works in crazy ways. I was like, I wasn't supposed to be there. I was supposed to be over here. And once I got into it, I was like, okay, yeah, I can learn this. It's like, I know nothing about this, but I'm going to have to ask some questions. So it's uncomfortable, right? And getting past the uncomfort level of, all right, I don't want to be the person in class that can't raise their hand and ask a question. I'm like, yeah, I do want to be that person because it's showing that, okay, yeah, I don't know enough. And who's willing to help me, right? Who's willing to either let their ego aside that you know too much that you can't share it, or someone's like, you know what, I was in the same position you were. Hold on, I got some ideas for you. Right. So how do you get kids prepared for that and moving in a way that they can go, okay, I can handle this. I can push forward. I can figure it out. Yeah, I have some support from friends or family, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's gonna fall on me, right? I can't point the finger at so-and-so did this or so-and-so talked mean to me. It's like, well, that's great. Get over it. Like, you're gonna have to push past that.
Right.
Because these words can't stop you from being successful. And if you do, then we haven't set you up the right way to get past it.
And I like the concept that you're building in the back end, which is basically extreme ownership. Kind of like the book.
Yeah, I love that book.
I haven't read the book, but I like the cover.
You're going to like it.
I looked at the cover and they didn't even have to read it.
Yep.
Atomic Habits, same thing. Didn't really read the entire thing, but little by little.
You get the nuggets out of it,
Yep. So my queue of things to read, but extreme ownership, I subscribe to like the 4 agreements in general from the book.
Me too. I love that book.
Extreme ownership is one of my biggest things. It's not there. It should be like agreement number 10, I guess.
Yeah.
But if you can take full ownership or extreme ownership at this point of everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly, if it happened to you, is because somehow you built it, somehow you allowed it, or there's a saying, if it's in your plate, it's because you order it.
Yeah.
That's right, restaurant, they're bringing something else. But if you don't take full accountability and ownership of whatever it is, and in this case, it could be your future career, or it could be your health, or it could be whatever problem you have, you're always going to be blaming someone else. And the problem with that is, if it's not your fault, you have no control to fix it.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, exactly. And you're going to love that book, right? I mean, one, they put a lot of, military war stories in it, but then they take it and they put it in the business world where people they were consulting with, right? Giving real world examples of, we work with this company here, here's a challenge. And then remembering how they learned about extreme ownership as Navy SEALs. And now in the corporate world of talking to executives and leaders of, why is this happening? Have you even talked to them?
Right.
He was like, this isn't their fault. This is your fault. You're the CEO of the company. You shouldn't be waiting for them to come to you. You should be going to them, asking them, why aren't we on production line? Why aren't we on this? Because you haven't figured out what the problem was.
Right.
And if you're the one leading it, or you're the one in charge of it, it's your responsibility to figure out how to fix that problem, or who do you need to bring in to help you solve that problem? And he goes, some of them were against it, some were against it, and people that don't want to take ownership were the ones that fought them the most. He goes, but eventually they came around going, wow, look what we solved.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing. And then even to this day, when I come across challenges and things are going, oh, why is this going this way? And I'm like, it's on you. I have to remind myself, no, it's on you. It's not them. Not that they didn't respond or they didn't do this or didn't. It's on you because you didn't address this at a time it should have been
Right.
addressed. And you should ask questions, or you should have brought up your perspective on it to make them go, this is where I stand on this, not just letting it slide. Because I think at times, I always say, at times we shrink who we are authentically to make people feel comfortable, right? Depending on who it is. We'll shrink our skill set or who we are to make people go, oh, okay, maybe I won't, that's great. And I'm like, stop shrinking, because that takes away from who you are authentically when you have to shrink to make somebody else feel better or make them, okay, well, it will make you feel good because, yeah. It's like, no, it's like, it's on me to be accountable for, no, I don't have to shrink, right? This is who I am, right? This is who I am authentically. I just need to be able to get my perspective across without going, I'm sorry. Like you said, this is on you. You own that. You feel bad? That's not on me. I'm doing what I need to do for myself. So the
That's
accountability part is huge on that.
Talking about
that's a great
accountability,
topic.
Yeah.
has there been a moment in your entire life, whether it's personal or professional,
Yep.
that changed everything for you? Whether it was a moment or a conversation, and how did that relate to accountability?
Yeah. Both really, personal side and business side of working for a startup one time and really kind of letting the other people run through it and taking their ideas in because they're more knowledgeable in different areas than I was. So I was kind of just following along.
Right.
And at times wanting to, like, I should say something here and not saying it. And then a year and a half later, like, all right, we got to stop this coming. I was like, I should have said something much earlier that I didn't like the direction we were going in. I didn't like what we were doing. And this and that, and the learning going, okay, that's the learning lesson of, if it's on my mind, I need to say it now, right? It's on me that I wasn't the one pushing it and going, no, I don't agree with this. Here's why. Here's why I don't agree with this. Change my mind on this. You need to convince me that this is the route and this is the route we're going. Personally, it's like, even in marriage, right? I've been married 18 years now.
Oh, congratulations.
No, thank you.
It's a lifetime.
And you're growing as people through this whole time. And during this time, you're both changing. We're both changing from when we got together, our perspectives, the things we look at things, everything starts to change. And then realizing, okay, how do I express my feelings that I don't think that way anymore? I'm thinking this way, right? And not sharing that is the problem of the friction that it causes, the friction of, well, why didn't you say anything 4 years ago? Like, I don't know.
I love
I didn't
that
want to say
example.
anything,
Yes.
right? And it's just a hard thing. We're human beings, right? And that goes back to like even shrinking to make somebody else feel comfortable.
It's the fear of acceptance, right? The fear of acceptance.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people, they do that. They shrink themselves so they can be accepted or they can be hired or they
Yes.
can, do business or in their lives, in their marriage. It's just so that you want to remain with the same image people had about you. But we are constantly changing,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
I may see you next year and I may have a different idea, perception, or knowledge or whatever it is
Yep.
of things. Maybe I'm not the same person because we're
We
constantly,
shouldn't be. Yeah.
and it's okay. But we should express that,
Yeah.
right? When the ideas we have, when the opinion we have about things, they shift, we should also bring that to the outside world. So to let people know, hey, this is what I'm thinking now. I'm changing my approach. I mean, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I used to be okay with that, but now that's not how I feel about it.
Yeah.
So it's very, very important to communicate so that you can have, better relationships, better partnerships in business, better, a better life, and, just a healthier, lighter life.
Lighter, yeah. You bring a good point up because you start telling people when they approach you like the person you used to be.
Yes.
You're like, that person's not here anymore. Like, you're talking to a different person. And it's hard for me to accept it because they're so used to that old version of yourself.
It's
right. It is.
Right.
They'll talk to you, and it can be old friends you haven't seen in years, and they talk to you like, no, you're talking to a different person now.
Yes.
And they don't get it because, well, I like that person. It's like, well, that's not the person you're talking to anymore. Like, yeah, there's aspects of that person, but it's not the same. Like,
It's
and
happened
it's
to
hard.
me with friends. I have friends. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that time passes, but they don't grow. They're still stuck. I'm sure you've met
Yeah.
even family,
Oh,
friends, or
absolutely.
business.
Yeah.
They're still stuck in the same life. It's almost as if they
Time's up.
never left
Yeah.
that same space.
Yep.
So that has happened to me with friends because I'm moving forward with my life. So when I see them, it's been 5 years or 4 years or
Yeah.
even 2 years, but they're still in the same topics, the same conversation, the same
Gets
thing.
old,
And
yeah.
it's hard because you do love them, but you're no longer there anymore.
Yeah.
So it's hard for you to constantly engage in the same
The same way.
conversations in the same way because you're just no longer there, and then you're not even the same person.
Yep.
And it happens to me, and where am I? Because I don't recognize myself in this space right now.
And it's fun. It's unfortunate. And
Yeah.
and it's over years, it's like, sometimes you're like, all right, I just need to leave. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, if you're, no, it's not being mean. It's caring. It's loving yourself more and loving
Yes.
yourself enough to going, I need to leave this because this is not helping me in the direction I'm going in. As
That's
much as
true.
we had this connection at this point, at this stage of my life,
That's true.
and it was great, doesn't mean you're going to be with me in the next stage.
That
Right?
is
Doesn't mean you're
true.
going to be with me in the next stage where I'm growing as I get here. So if you're open to saying, hey, what are you doing? I want to know about it. It sounds like you're doing great. Okay, let's have a conversation. But if they want to just stay in that same conversation, that same topic,
Yes.
you're like, I love myself enough to leave. And it's not a bad thing. It's like I care more about
I like that.
myself more than trying to shrink,
I
right?
like that.
Trying to shrink to make you feel good that I can just still relate to you in this world. It's not that I don't know this world because I've been there. We've been there. We know each other. But it doesn't mean I want to stay here or go back to it.
It's reminding yourself that it's okay to leave behind what no longer fits
Fits.
your life,
Yeah.
what no longer aligns with the person you are today. Because, we all have emotions and feelings,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's hard to leave behind. We know there's no
Absolutely.
longer alignment in that relationship or partnership or whatever it is in your life, but you just don't, you leave it there because they appreciate you or because you appreciate them or because you've known them for years. But it's okay to leave.
Yeah,
It's okay it doesn't mean it was not, it doesn't mean that it didn't bring value into your life. At some point it
Yeah.
did, but it's no longer part of you. It's no longer you.
Yep.
It's hard to accept. It's like those moments we have with ourselves that's no longer me. It's
Yeah.
okay to leave it behind.
And it is. It's a hard, as you get older and you're going, should I do this? Should I not? And then going, no.
Yeah.
You start realizing I care more about myself now. Like, not to be from an ego standpoint or conceited standpoint. It's like, I care about my well-being, my balance, my energy, my vibration, more than dulling it to go back to being this. And it's even
Right.
harder with family members, right? When they haven't seen you in years and you've advanced and you've done things
Yes.
and you've traveled and you've been around the world and they see you like, oh, and you explain, oh, that's great. Well, no, and they talk to you either like you're a slow kid or they remember how you used to be. Like, oh, no, and you're like, no, that's not, no, I'm not there. And then they go, well, what's wrong with you?
Yes.
And they're like, why do you act this way? I was like, no, it's not act. This is just who I am, right? You know a little bit about me. Yeah, the foundation, the core of who I am as a person, that hasn't changed. But who I am, right, of this next level I'm moving to, that's changed. And if you can't be curious enough to ask me, well, what are you doing? How'd you get there? What path are you on? Then I'm like, then you really don't care. You just want to talk to me like you used to.
Right.
And I'm not comfortable with that anymore.
And on the other side, it's about us respecting others too, respecting
Yes.
that they are evolving, they have changed, and respect
Yeah.
and just
At a different rate of progress, perhaps.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own rate of progress,
Right.
Absolutely.
whatever it might be. But you keep mentioning shrinking, and what resonates with me is that we've all done that
Yeah.
at different stages of our
Right.
life,
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
even still now.
Still
to
do.
some
Yeah,
degree.
you fight it like why? Like, you go, wait a minute, that's not me. Like, why am I trying to make you feel comfortable? Like, yeah,
I still do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one of the concepts that Clara and I discuss often, and one of the foundational concepts of the authenticity journey is, of course, authenticity, but it's more authenticity with the human aspect of who we are,
Yes.
our relationships, our circle of
Yep.
friends, family, people that we want in our lives
Yeah.
at the end of the day. But it comes also to leadership. I think that at the end of the day, we need to have the self-leadership to make sure that we are first being authentic with ourselves. And that means if we have boundaries, we have to
True.
enforce them.
Yeah.
And the word that comes to me around all of that is respect, meaning that
Always.
we have to respect who we are today
Mhm.
because we have a future self
Yep.
that is even at a higher level,
Yeah.
different rate of growth than where we're at today. So not only we have to be very careful and intentional with our choices, but what we do with our time,
Yeah.
who we're giving our time to. It could just be distractions in
Mhm.
general.
Right.
It doesn't have to be people. It could just be distractions. So respect to me comes back to how we're handling our time,
Mhm.
because respect is time. If we don't respect our time, we don't get back any time at all.
No,
No.
not at all.
That goes back. It goes by very, very quickly. So for us, one of the reasons we created the Authenticity Journey, and we thought about it very carefully.
Yep.
And the reason it's a human capital forum is because it's really about the substance
Yes.
of who we are individually, who we want to get to know,
Mhm.
and for everyone to share a little bit of wisdom with the next generation.
Yep.
And I think a lot of the concepts that we talked about today, they're very difficult to grasp. 5 years ago, it would have been difficult for me to grasp a lot of those topics.
Because you're changing, you're evolving,
Right.
and you should, right? It comes, and you're saying it. Even the content we want to researching for growth, like you said, the complete ownership book, right?
Yep.
4 agreements, all these things, right? That's you personally working on you personally. Like when I read the 4 agreements the first time, must have been like 4 years ago, and then I read it the next year, and I highlighted something else, and I read it the next year because I was at a different stage every year, and then every time I read it, different parts of it resonating with me different. And I'm going, that shows me you're growing, you're different. The first time you read this didn't make sense. Now you're at a stage where that makes sense, right? And if we're not thinking that way of every year, if it's something about me is not growing in a different way, then I'm not feeding myself or searching for it enough, going, what else can I be expanding myself on? Right? What can I expand myself that starts to scare me? Like, ooh, should I go down this hole? Should I really start learning more about that? And you start doing it, like, okay, all right, I can do this. I can reach out like that. What else can I talk to somebody on a conversation that makes me go, okay, I need to get better at this, right? That's helping us. And when you're kind of brought it up, when you're around people that aren't doing that same thing, it's hard, right? I brought up the 4 agreements to some people, like, you should read this book. They're like, I don't read that book. I'm telling you, like, seriously, like, stop taking things personal. Read the book. And they were like, no, I've even bought it for them. I'm like, you read a book? No. Okay. Those are people that they're choosing not to want to expand past what they know, right? They've gotten to a growth limit of, okay, I'll just take this in and then now I'll hop on social media and I'll do this. But you're on the right path when you're around people like, I can't have this conversation with you. I want to go deeper than the surface stuff. How do we do that? How do we go deeper than the surface conversation, the stuff when you're at events, like, oh, what do you do? Oh, what do you do? Oh, I do these things. I do that. Oh, that's great. Oh, you have a great business. Oh my God. That must mean that you guys must do this. Like, okay, let's get past that. Let's go deeper. What are you about? Like, what touches your soul? What's at your core that makes you who you are? Now you have my full of undivided attention. Yeah, let's have this conversation. Tell me what moves you, right? It's different. And when you're around people like that, you feel, all right, I don't have to shrink. I can actually be comfortable right now.
Be comfortable and
right?
confident.
And confident, like, yeah, you're going to be open that I can share this with you and I'm going to be vulnerable where I normally wouldn't be vulnerable with somebody that wants to talk at the high level of, oh my God, can I get your card? Can we do this? And you're like, yeah, no, honestly, I didn't even give my card out. Like, I really don't anymore. I don't. I'm like, unless I'm having a conversation, I go, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm not even giving my card, right? Because when people come up with that approach, I'm like,
the approach you have is exactly the approach we believe in and we like to have. Of course, it came from growth and still growing every day. I think now as I age and I get older, I think I'm okay being more vulnerable than I was maybe even 5 years ago.
Yeah, me too.
As hard. I look back, and I was the other day watching one of my old videos that I have on social media from 5 years ago, and I kept watching and I didn't recognize myself. I was like, who's this person? I mean, I didn't delete. It's there.
Yeah.
But I don't feel the same. Maybe I wouldn't have spoken the same. I think I was overly concerned about things that now I'm not.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
not important to you because that's where you were at that stage of the people you were hanging out with
yes,
and the conversations you were having.
yes,
They weren't going deeper. They were just at this
yes,
high
and
level.
you know, and it's okay. I guess it's okay to recognize
Yeah.
it. You know, I still wanted to be there. It's
Yeah.
okay. This is who I was at that time. It's not. It's still great. It's just it's nice to see that we evolve, that we change. You know, it's a good feeling.
And it's you bring up a point. It would have been sad, right, if you were still that person
Yes,
talking from 5 years
that's
ago,
true.
talking the
That is
same
true.
exact way you were talking. You'd be like, wow, I haven't changed a bit. Like, look at
I
me.
know.
That would have been sad. When
that's
you
a
could look
great-
at your back at yourself
But
going,
you wouldn't know it.
it
It would be sad, but you wouldn't identify that as a sad.
You
item.
would-
yeah, and that's it, even better, yeah, right? You wouldn't have done it like, oh, like
You
it's
wouldn't
sad.
even know
No,
that you're the
'cause
same person.
because you haven't changed, and that's the thing. And I look back even the way I used to think 5 years ago, 4 years ago, right?
Yes.
And things I got into, I'm going, okay. And then since then, all these different books I've read and this, and I don't know if you read the book like The Alchemist, I go, okay, I'm like, I'm getting these different nuggets of great stuff that every time I get something new, I go, all right, I want to implement that. I want to start thinking that way. I want to embrace this uncomfortable uncertainty of where am I going next? And then going next somewhere that's on me. Like, it's like I need to be, when I look back at myself, like, wow, yeah, I'm similar to last year, but I'm still further away from that person.
Right.
And every year, if I'm not doing that every single year, then there's definitely something wrong. And I'm starting to realize that more now as we're having this conversation of, wow, I mean, when I went to become an entrepreneur, which was the scariest thing I did when I left Oracle and SAP in 2017. And I'm like, all right, I've never done this before. I'm like, I'm going to do this. And getting it, it's being so naive of, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start my business. It's going to be on blockchain. And going in with the mindset of coming out of corporate America and then going into this and then the people you meet and the conversation, I'm like, wow, I'm way over my head now because I was trying to figure it out on my own. And then partnering with people and learning. And I go back going, you've learned a lot, like of different ways. People, who do you want to talk to? Who do you want to interact with? Where do you want to have your presence known? Or how do you want your name to be received when you walk in the room? When someone rings my name, I don't want to be like, oh, you're talking, hanging out with that guy. It's like my energy should walk into the room before me.
Yep.
And then when you meet me, you're like, okay, now I know what people said. We should have a conversation.
Yeah.
That's the feeling you want when people meet you is your energy is already in the room before you get there and you go, and they meet you going,
And you
wow.
bring that. I remember we briefly met at the event and we probably spoke for not even 5 minutes. But I'm very good at identifying people that bring that human aspect to life and the ones that don't.
Yeah.
You know, I may get it wrong sometimes, but for the most part, I'm very good at identifying because I'm just a very deep, emotional person and I can just feel it.
Yeah.
Right? So I probably spoke to you for, I
About 10
don't
minutes.
know.
I think it was at the end of the night too.
No, I don't even think
No.
it was 10 minutes.
No.
It was the end of the night,
No.
just a quick conversation after an event. But one of the reasons I invited you to this conversation, it's because I could feel it that you had that light, you know, real person vibration feel and that's what we value.
Yeah.
You know, this is a podcast that's, you know, it's a forum. Actually, it's a forum and we bring up those topics and those conversations and it's invitation only because we want it to have value.
Yeah.
We want to bring wisdom. We want to bring the real, you know, the real aspect of life into the forum so that people can listen and they can learn from it or they can feel empowered or just get to know you.
No.
And you know, and you have that. You brought so many great concepts today and so many great topics that embraces what it is to be a human, you know, that bleeds, that feels, that dies and that lives. And you brought all of that just by being you. You're fully authentic, real self, you know.
And as human beings, I think it's hard to get to that point. You know, like I just want to be authentically myself because we've been, you know, we're trained or I love the Matrix stuff like that. We're programmed at early ages of don't
Yes.
say this, don't say that, and
Yeah.
you have to fit this mold here, and then you can't go over here. You can't be doing these things, and then you fit in what society and your friends and
Yes.
the influences that are around you saying, "Oh, you can't be. Why are you going to go on that? Why are you going to do these things? Oh, you want to do that?" And you finally get to a point like it's just too much weight. Like it's just too much weight. Going,
Yes.
I can't breathe. I got to be myself. Like, and for the people that get it, that's your tribe. Those are the ones you want to be around,
That's
right?
true.
And the last time you were really your authentic self was when you were a kid,
Mm.
right?
Yes. Pure,
When
naive.
whatever came out your mouth was what you were saying or
Yes.
feeling, right? When you got older, you quieted,
Yes.
right? I was
Yes.
earlier today. Before I got here, I was at a park, right, finishing some work, and I love working outside as much as I can when I can. And I seen these kids running around, and young kids, and I'm going, that's when the last time I was my authentic self. When
Wow.
and really it kind of hit me. And I
Wow.
was like, that was the last time I can remember truly being authentic. Of whatever came out of your mouth came out of your mouth. You're excited, you did this, you went here, whatever, right? And your parents were the ones who were corralling you, seen like this, and I'm going, but that's when you're authentic, when you're curious still. And you're like, what about this? What if I go over here? Let me do this. Let me say this, right? Let me ask a question. That's it. And I go, that's why I love being around kids like that, because I go, yeah, look at it. Just being, he has no clue that what he's doing is bothering people, but he's like, whatever.
What a
He's like, I'm just
beautiful
being
thing. I
myself,
mean, it's
right? And
yes.
it hits you, and I go, that's the next stage I'm moving into. Is that's why I want to live, like just authentic, not like rude to people, but
Yeah.
more on the lines of, here it is. Like I'll share this, I'll share that with the right people. But with the ones like you're saying, you kind of like qualify of, no, I can't have this conversation with you, and I'll leave you where you're at, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? And
Right.
I'll have high level conversation, but I won't stay here forever
Because you
in that
can't.
conversation.
We're
Yeah,
all different, and we bring different attributes and different things
yeah,
into a conversation, right? We don't have to be the same. We have a different personality,
yeah,
different ways of thinking, but it's important to have that conversation with people that are open and light and real,
yeah,
even if they even if they're attached to one way of living in that moment. That's okay, but
yeah,
it's who they are
yeah. And I have
in
no
that
problem with
stage of
that.
their
I
lives.
can I can work with that because they're being authentic of who they are at that
At
stage
that
in their
stage.
life.
Yes.
That's great. It's not fake. It's not fabricated. It's not trying to fit into the norm of this is
Right.
how I should act and this is how I should do this, or this is how I should do business, or I don't need to build relationships. I just need to build these things here. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with that. That's you, and that's
Right.
essentially what you connect with. I don't connect with that anymore, or I'm not in that area. I like I said, I can step away, right? The accountability of yourself of
Yes.
it's on me to step away and not get sucked into an energy vampire, I call them,
Yeah.
right? Where it's
And it's draining.
it's draining, and I'm like, I'm giving you way too much of my energy right now, way too much of space in my brain, because this is not benefiting me. I want the conversation to benefit. It's got to be reciprocal.
Reciprocal.
It's got to be reciprocal. Like you fill my cup, I'll fill your cup. And if you're not filling my cup, then I can't fill yours.
Then
And
you're
you're like,
drained.
and you're drained. And
We
you're
have
like,
to be careful with
you
that.
do.
Because
It's easy.
it's
for it to
easy.
happen.
You lack energy, you feel drained. I don't know if you've ever felt to go home and you're so exhausted,
Mhm.
like everything has been taken from you and you don't understand why. And it's just that you have to fill your cup while you're,
Yeah,
you
and
can't just give and not, it has to be reciprocal.
it's got to be
Absolutely.
reciprocal. And even now, when I go to events or conferences, right, I'm very standoffish. Like I go in and I'm an outgoing person, really, when I want to
Right.
be. Like I have
Right.
no problem with that at all. But now, when I go in, I'm very slow to engage.
Mm.
Like people come up, I'm not the one to go, hey, what are your name? I'm
Immediately.
very slow to engage. I feel even when I went to your event, like, and I walked in, I had some glass of wine. I knew Rob, and I was talking to Rob on the side,
Yes.
but very slow to engage me. I was just like listening, different conversations, stuff like that. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm listening. And when I sat down and you guys at the panel, I was like, wow, this is the deep panel. I kind of like what they're talking about. I was like, okay, had some other conversations, but I wasn't proactively going up to people to do that. And it's
Right.
just who I am. And when I'm at big conferences, it's even worse because I'm like, I tell people, hey, I stand in one spot. And if my energy pulls somebody to me,
Yes.
that's who I'm supposed to talk to at that conference. Flat out. And I've had great conversations that way. Because people come, hey, I was talking, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, no. I'm like,
But you
oh,
took the time to engage and to actually get to know the other
oh,
person.
then it's perfect.
'Cause what's happening is people go into events or conferences and you're trying to talk to hundreds of people just believing that it's going to get you ahead. I met 200 today. I gave cards away. But you're actually doing the right thing because you're observe where your energy is going, where your time is available. And even if you talk to, 3 individuals,
I'm more than happy with
you're
that.
ahead.
I
You're
am.
getting ahead because
That's my same approach. I love that.
Yeah, and
this is how we approach as well.
Yeah. I'm like, if I walk out of here with 2 tangible conversations,
Yes.
I'm more than happy. I don't care if there's 5,000 people in that room.
Yes.
Substance over quantity.
Yeah, and that's it. And you feel more satisfied. And you're not drained.
No.
Right? You're not going up, what do you do? Well, what do you do? And what do you do? And I can see, like, yes, if I'm selling a product and I'm out at CES conference, something like that, yeah, I got to talk to a lot of people and it's going to interact.
Right.
But if I'm not doing something like that, where I'm not selling it, I'm like, here's what I do. Let's have a conversation. I leave and I'm like, all right, I'm not exhausted, right? And I lived that world for so long. I'm like, I want to talk to that person. I want to talk to this person. Or this person. And then if I see somebody, I'm like, all right, I think I want to go talk to that person. Then I'll make the time and I'll proactively go over to that person. I'll have that conversation. Like, hey, saw you. What are you doing? I mean, it looks pretty interesting. And it feels more authentic than just, let me just show you my conference personality, right? I'm coming here with my authentic personality. And if it fits in with people here, then it fits in.
Right.
And if it doesn't, then it wasn't meant to be that conversation tonight. So I love what you guys are doing with this stuff because to me, it's really needed. And even when I left that night, I was like, that was the most authentic event I've been to in a very long time, where you were talking about tangible things that touched the human being, right? Outside of, well, tell me about your business and what do you do and how great are things, right? Because we've all been to them, but it wasn't like that. And I've never been to an event like that. I was like, wow, that was really, really cool. And even you say, hey, and you talking on a podcast, I was like, yeah, sure. Because if it was something else, like keep talking about your business, I'd have been like, I'm going to pass.
No, and
literally, I would have been like, no, that's okay. I could do that, but no, that's fine.
And
but
you may, for people who are just sales driven and they don't understand that the human aspect of life is also part of business.
Absolutely.
It's very important because it's us,
it
right?
Is.
It's
making
who
that
we are.
connection.
You're making a connection.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't, there are people out there that won't see the value of it.
Yes.
How can that benefit me as I'm doing business or in my business? Why would I spend my time discussing the human aspect of life?
Yeah.
But it does. It's everything.
Because then people, it almost builds like this instant trust in a way, right? Or credibility of, you care more about me than just my business.
But the ones that are not open to it, it's because it's hard, right? During the event, even I shared things that it's hard.
Yeah.
Suddenly people, I would love to just put a beautiful photo on LinkedIn and look beautiful and portray myself as this, everything is perfect and powerful. But no, I want to be it all.
Yeah.
I want to, you can be it all. You can still share your life, the weak sides of your life. They're not necessarily weak, but what people see as weakness. You can share your challenges and you can still be successful.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you unique.
Absolutely.
Right?
It is. And I came across a quote maybe 6 months ago that just stuck with me. I have it plastered on my wall in my bedroom, and it goes, I choose to shine without the desire to be seen.
Oh, wow.
I like it.
And I was like,
Very impactful.
wow. It hit me, and I went, that is my new motto, without a doubt. Because I'm choosing to shine because I'm being authentic. But I don't have a desire for you to be seen. If you see it, great. But it's not my goal. I just want to shine. And if you get value out of it and saying, wow, like I'm not pushing it. I'm not going there. Look what I just did. I'm not going on LinkedIn all the time. Like, oh my God, I was at this event. Look what I just did. I was over here. I don't do that. I go, if I put something on LinkedIn, it's more of out of gratitude.
Yes.
Going, hey, thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. Or, hey, I was a part of this event. It was great here and here. It's not like, look where I was at. I just did this.
Right.
Like, for me, it's like, I choose to shine. People think, oh my God, it's doing great things. Well, thank you. And that's it. Like, I can just easily just let it go because that's not my intention. My intention is not to be seen. It's like, if you see it, even great. That's perfect.
Right.
If I showed up in your feed and your algorithm, better. I'm not pushing it going, okay, what are my impressions and what did I do this? Like, whoever showed up that was supposed to see it, those are the person that see it.
Yes.
I'm not going, like I've gotten in that quote. I remind myself that every day when I see it, I go, I choose to shine when I desire to be seen. It allows me to be authentic without being fake. Right? It's like I have no objective of what I'm doing, right? It's just me being authentic. People connect with it. Perfect. If they don't, it's not my goal. It's not my goal to make sure that you see what I'm doing. And it's totally, even like I said, we grow every year. That one totally changed my mindset. Like instantly when I read it, I went, wow. I was like, that's living authentically right there. Like just be yourself and shine. When people see it, they see it. It's not your goal for you to care if they see it.
I love that.
It's not pushing it. It's not pushing it on them. Like I would need to be in your face. You need to see it. No, I don't. Because the right people see it and the ones that want to connect with me are the valuable ones. Right? The ones that want to reach out, hey, tell me more about what you're doing. Oh, no problem.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right? It makes it so much easier with a less weight of, oh, I need to do 5 posts this month on this and this and this. And I'm like, no. And then you see it, and even the people that reach out to you on LinkedIn, like, oh, you see what I'm doing? Oh, let me share with. I'm like, I'll tag a few people that they're in my circle. Like, hey, this is the event I did. This is what I'm doing. Right?
I mean, there's nothing wrong. It's still part of.
It's part of our business, the world we live in.
Yes.
And so it's like, yeah, I just want to share my experience. That's all I'm doing. I'm sharing my experience of I was at this event, or I got interviewed, or I did this, or hey, I was a part of this great opportunity, and that's it. It's that I'm not trying to be in your face like, wow, you need to be seen. You need to be seen. I'm like, no.
It's we don't have to. How do we say? We don't have to gain
No.
the entire world. Like you don't have to have everything.
Yeah.
But you have to have whatever it is that you have. It has to have quality and value.
Yeah.
So if it's your business, you can be successful by having quality clients and partnerships and friendships and everything. And that can put you in a very good place, and you can be extremely successful.
Yeah.
But trying to be, it's not trying to be successful, but trying to gain the entire world, I want to impress everyone. I want to, that usually puts us back.
Yeah.
Because we're not really focused in building, in leveraging what we have right now. What can I create of value for my business and for my life with what I have right now in my hands? Let me leverage that. Sometimes we don't leverage what we have because we're just trying to, be everywhere. We're trying to take over the world. And as you try to take over the world, you miss the point. You don't leverage what you have. Success spills away. Like you just lose it. You lose the momentum because life is in what you have now. Leverage that. Like you said, you leverage that. Pay attention. And that is true success.
It is.
Otherwise, you lose focus. You lose direction, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And I think it's the gratitude you have in the moment you have of, I'm glad I have everything I need right now.
Yes.
It might not be everything I want. I have everything that I need right now.
Yes.
Right? That foundation, that core foundation that you build upon, that when things do get big and they do get successful, you still have that grounded foundation of, I will still have everything I need. I have myself. I know who I am. I can be authentic. I have good people. I'm choosing the right circle of people I want around me, right? So as I get bigger, I make sure that those are the same type of people that are with me around that I are inviting that circle. I'm not just, because I got bigger, doesn't mean I want 1,000 other people. No. I might pick up 2 or 3 other people that are great, that I can provide value, that can help me grow even more.
Correct.
Right? But it's going, okay, I don't need to be 1,000 pieces, and I don't need 1,000 people to even see what I'm doing, right? If it comes across and they see it, great. But I don't need to purposely chase you and pull you into my circle. No. The ones, you'll be that magnet for people to go, that's what I want to be a part of. Like what you guys are doing. People are going to go, that's the kind of people I want to be around. I want to be around people that are authentic and real. And I can have good conversations.
We've never done any marketing. Besides, of course, we share what we're doing. But even for the event, there was no marketing, no like selling things online or paying for paid ads, nothing like that. What we really did was, it was exhausting, not going to lie.
Yeah.
It was one at a time. And then, a few people came from friends and introductions. But I would say that 80% of the attendees, it was one at a time, one call at a time.
Yeah.
one relationship at a time. And it's a slower process. It was not trying to take over the world and take over
Yeah.
West Palm Beach. It was just one at a time because we wanted to create something of value.
Yep.
If you're just trying to take over everything, you can't get that quality
Agreed.
into a room.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't.
Yeah, you have to be very specific.
Very specific.
And what you mentioned earlier about you want to shine, but not necessarily be,
See.
I'll paraphrase, like the center of attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when we first started the authenticity journey about like 11 months ago.
Yeah.
We actually in LinkedIn, we have build with attention and intention.
Mm-hmm.
But it might have been in the past month or so. There is this phrase, and I don't know where it came from, but it's been in my head since. Anything that you do, do it with intention, but not for attention.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not sure where
That's
that
what
came
you
from.
brought.
Yeah.
So that building with intention, but not for attention is the most important thing.
Yep.
Because I'm the same way. I'm an introvert, so I enjoy just feeling accomplished on whatever it is that I did.
Yep.
Whether others celebrate it or not, it's more about my own sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be like celebrated in public or anything like that.
Nope.
So I could definitely relate to that.
No, and I agree. And it's when you're around people with that mindset and think that way, right? It's then you're comfortable. Like, so like, oh, you're just showboating. You just want to talk about how you know about this, you know about that.
Yes.
Like, no, you're just being who you are. And you're not asking for the attention. You're not asking like, hey,
Yep.
this is what I just did last week. Hey, I just got this great opportunity. Oh, that's great.
Absolutely.
Or, hey, I just took a certification and I learned about that. You're not bragging.
No,
You're just
it's
saying, hey,
different.
this is one of the things I was
You're
focused on.
sharing.
And you're sharing, right? And it's hard because, like I said, you've been around people like, oh, I've done this and I've done that. I have this and I have this expertise and I've been here. I'm like, that's great. There's nothing wrong with people sharing that. I'm like,
Nothing wrong.
but the ones that are doing it on, well, look how great, look where I am. Look at the stage of life I'm at.
It's different.
I've done this and I've done that. And I go, that's great. And I'm like, I'm happy for you, And
That doesn't impress me.
no,
On any account, material stuff, even accomplishments, it doesn't impress me at all. As of today, the thing that I'm proud the most of myself is my core values. Honestly, nothing else. Everything else gets washed. You get to rebuild it.
yeah.
If you put me in another place, I still have my core values. So that to me is the most important thing.
You
Like
won't take
Yes.
material things with you.
No, you won't. And
You'd-
nobody can take your core values away from you.
Right.
No matter who they are. Like it's at the core of you, right? This
your
is what-
legacy.
it's your legacy. And you're like, I'm leading with this, like you're leading with your soul in a way. Like this is what my soul connects with. Right. Most people aren't willing either to admit that or connect with it. But once you do, it's like powerful. It's like, all right, I'm actually leading in the way my life, the way I want to.
Yes.
Yeah. I tell people, do I like nice things? Absolutely. Do I like material things? Do they define me? Only if you want to define me by that.
Right.
Like only if you want to define me by what I have. That's on you. It doesn't define me. Like if I drive a nice car and if I live here and if I go there, this doesn't define me. It's the things
Right.
that I like, right? Because I know easily it can be taken away from me in the blink of an eye.
Yep.
Right. So I'm grateful for the things I have or the things that I aspire to or I get. But at the end of the day, that doesn't define my core value.
you
or who
enjoy
I am.
it, but it's
I
not
enjoy
who
it. It's
you
just
are.
like it's a nice thing. It's like, yeah,
Yes.
what's wrong? Like nice
We
things.
all
You're
do.
supposed
Yes.
to, right? You get to a life like I want nice things.
Yes.
I don't want to be like, I want to. No, I want nice things because nice things aren't going to define me when I get them. I'm like, hey, I thought nice car. Yeah, it's metal and plastic. There it is.
That.
Every car, just like that one, it's metal and plastic. Might be a nicer metal and plastic, but it is. And I go, okay, well, if it's taken away from me, will it define who I am at the core of me? No, right? People should know that I'm leading from a point of I'm authentic. Like you'll get the same conversation with me if I have it
Yes.
or if I don't have it. That's the difference. The people that if we take it away from me, like, oh my God, they took my car. I used to have this car, and I'm like, well, that's great. Right? Like, really, the car defines you that much that now you can't still be yourself. There's something wrong with that. And I go,
It is.
I'm like, all right, whatever, and you kind of leave it at that. But I think we go through phases like growing up. Yeah, I need to have this car, and I need to have that, and I need and once you get it, you're like, all right, now what?
No,
Like, it really is-
still
and
empty
it's like,
inside. So,
it's still empty inside. And I remember the early years was like, I'm driving this, and I got this, and I got
so you need more.
a BMW, and I got this brand new Ninja ZX-7R, and I got this, and I'm like, I'm still not happy. And I remember it. I remember it going, it still doesn't define me. I'm like, and then that's where that phase of, okay, you have nice things, but at the end of the day, if they're gone, you still need to be who you are.
Yes.
And it's hard. And I think,
Something bigger needs to bring you that joy
yeah,
because everything else is just temporary.
it is. It's just,
materialistic.
So I
well,
think that's actually a great point. As we come to a close, I
yeah.
think we're almost on time. What would be your advice to the younger generation? And
Mhm.
let's just frame it. Let's say anyone that just started high school,
Yeah.
they have dreams of becoming a YouTuber or a
Yeah.
very successful entrepreneur and
Yeah.
everything in between, or just going to go get a job or just travel, whatever
Yeah.
their
Oh,
future they might have ambition. What would be your advice, having gone through entrepreneurship and having gone through corporate and
yeah.
everything in between, for them to have a mindset or at least try to discover what it would be meaningful towards finding their purpose, their passion,
Yep.
so that they can lead or find joy in what they're doing? What would be your advice for that?
I'd say, I mean, be open, right? Be open to things changing and be open to meeting new people that might give you a perspective that you weren't thinking. You might have a vision of this one goal. I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be
Right.
an influencer. That's great. But understand that that could change because you meet one person going, you have a great opportunity to be over here. Or you have it be, or you, I want to introduce you to somebody that's going to give you more value. Be open to that, right? Because and don't worry about chasing what everybody else is doing around you, right? You said passion, right?
Hmm.
If you have passion about something, keep that passion. But understand that passion could change or shift. As you know, in entrepreneurship, it could be pivot where you have to go a different direction. You still have that passion, but you might start finding a passion for something else
Right.
that even overtakes what you're passionate about right now. I mean, when I remember young, there's many things I'm passionate about that totally are not remotely on my radar anymore. And that's called growth. Like you get to different stages and experiences and the mistakes you're going to make along the way. And you're going to make a lot of mistakes and be happy to make those mistakes because that's where the growth is. The pain is in the mistake of, man, I thought that was going to work out, or this, I made a bad
Yes.
decision, or my God, I wasted money on this. Great. Now you've learned a lesson. Now go do it differently the next time, something else. Or now don't work around or hang out with people like that that are energy vampires, right? People that are going to put you down or try to keep you in a box of, no, you can only think this big, right? You can only think this big, and that's how far you can go. No, those are not the ones you want to be around. You want to be around that are, yeah, what are you doing? How can I support you? Not, and we all know it, jealousy pops in religiously wherever stage you're at in your life. It just does. But be aware of that. The person you think are close could be the biggest jealous person of what you're doing.
True.
So be aware of that. And that's hard to figure out. And once you start figuring out, you're like, yeah, I kind of see the signs. I kind of see the little jabs or the gestures or the remarks being made of, really, you think you're that good? Oh, yeah, no, you did a great job. But yeah, look, you're like, no, you'd be supporting me. Support me on this, right?
Right.
The ones
I
that
love
support
that.
you are going to support you. And the ones that are not, they'll weed themselves out by what they say to you
Right.
and how they say it, right? They'll say it with a smile, but it's really a dagger,
Hmm.
right?
So-
And you feel it.
We would say that if it limits you, it sets you back. Right?
Yep.
That's if you feel limited at any level
Yeah.
with your surroundings, then it's setting you back. It's not for you.
Yeah. And when people are making you second guess that what you're doing shouldn't be your vision, that's when you know. When they get you like, do you really want to do that? Is that really in your best interest?
Right.
What are you going to do with that? How far are you going to be? Really going to be successful at that? Anyone who wants to limit your vision or rain on your parade, that's not it. Like, hey, try it. If you fail, I'll still support you. That's what you want to hear,
Right.
right? If you fail at it, I'll still support you. That's what I need to hear.
That's
Right? Have my back like that. And if I fail and you come to me like, hey, I'm sorry it didn't work out. What do you think about doing now this time?
a true friend,
Yeah.
a true,
Family member, whatever. I
Partner,
mean, I've had
whatever.
family members shoot down my ideas. I'm like, thanks a lot. Like,
John, as we fully close the episode, I just wanted to express that we're very grateful for you, being here
No,
and,
thank
and,
you.
and joining this conversation. You brought so many beautiful concepts and ideas and perception about life. I'm very impressed. I think it was a really good conversation.
Absolutely.
I think
I loved it. I
you
love
really
talking to both of you. Thank
Very
you.
authentic.
your
We
view
appreciate it.
about life, the way you see things, and your personal life, your business, your friendships, your partnerships, everything that you do. I think it's you lead and you move with it in a beautiful way.
Oh, thank you.
And I think
I- I
that's
think,
amazing.
and I
I mean,
think you guys
that's
are as well. I mean,
thank you.
it takes the risk you guys are taking, right? Because you're being vulnerable. What are you doing?
It's
Right?
yes,
And it is.
it's hard.
It's hard, and you're taking that risk, but you're trusting in yourself. Like this is who we are authentically.
Mhm.
We
Yes,
want to reach people on this level.
you have to
Who else
be.
is doing that? No one,
Right.
right? And that's a good thing, showing you we like in entrepreneurship, we're fixing a problem.
True.
If you're fixing a problem that niche, then you know you're on the right track because
Yes,
nobody else is focused on it.
true.
So thank you for what you guys are doing.
Thank
And
you.
here is the thing: I want to be inspired by the circle that I have.
Yeah.
And inspired by conversations, just like you were talking about. It depends on the level of conversations that
Yeah.
you have with people. And our main goal is to inspire the next generation, not just with conversations, but with wisdom too.
Yes.
And you brought a lot of
You
that
brought
today.
a lot
Thank
of
you.
that.
No, I'm glad I could help
So
out.
let's end with two words, two powerful words that you hold with you every single day.
Every single day is, I'm worth it.
I'm worth it.
I'm worth it.
I
love
love
that.
it.
That's three, but I'm worth it. I'm worth everything that I get, every blessing that I get. I'm worth it.
I love
Yeah.
that. That's
I love
very, very empowering and much needed,
Yeah.
right? Have faith on yourself and you are worth it.
Yep.
Thank you for bringing that. And we close today with I'm worth it,
All right.
right? Thank you, John. And
Thank you.
I hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. I love
Thank
the same
you.
cups. I'm big on relationships, so I'm sure we'll be talking some more. So thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you.